Hello, my name is Lily, and I am here to ask you something. Have you been scrolling on social media to the point where the videos come up are none that you recognize or that you like, and you come across a strange clip like this?
See that? Everyone rushes at me like crazed fans.
Rather, Nintendo owners, do you remember June 12, 2018 when you decided, hey, I'm bored, let's play some Smash Bros. So you open the game and see a new character is added called Bayonetta. A woman with short hair, a latex bodysuit, 4 blue guns, 2 of them which are on her heels. Well, her name is Cerezia, and she's from a video game called Bayonetta. Since her video game is not as widely known, I am here to talk about how this video game is still popular after being released for 16 years. But before moving on to the reasons why Bayonetta is still popular, I'm going to introduce you to the characters seen throughout this video game, starting with our main character, Bayonetta. Bayonetta is also known as Cerezia. Then there is Jean, the Platinum Witch, who is an Umber Witch just like Bayonetta. Moving on to Rodin. Rodin was a former angel but got exiled, so he became a weapon sealer, bartender, and the proprietor of the Gates of Hell bar. The foul-mouthed Italian, Enzo. Enzo is an undertaker and an underground informant who sells information to keep the Chaos Realm safe. Baldur. Baldur is mostly heard but then finally seen at the end of the video game, which he is revealed to be the main antagonist of this story, and he is also the Lost Lumen Sage, which is really interesting. The final character is Luca. Luca is a journalist whose character is basically described as wanting to reveal for Bayonetta killing his father, when in fact an angel killed his father. But he couldn't see the angels because only Umber Witches and Lumen Sages could actually see angels. Wait! Who are these people? Well, to explain the Lumen Sages and the Umber Witches, we need to go back in time to the creation. Basically, the creation was where the Chaos God Aesir had created the 3 realms, beginning with Inferno, where demons lived, Chaos, where humans resided, and finally Paradisio, where angels had came from. As Chaos developed, 2 clans from Europe emerged, one being the Umber Witches, who worshipped the powers of darkness, while the Lumen Sages, on the other hand, worshipped the powers of light. They were given the eyes of the world to keep the balance in humanity and also to give humans free will. However, this tense peace was broken between a union of both opposing clan members, which sparked the clan wars and the witch hunts, which almost wiped out both clans in the process. What was this union? Well, an Umber Witch known as Rosa and the Lumen Sage, Baldur, had broken the sacred law and had a child. But who was this child? Well, this child was known as Cerezia. But since she was born of light and dark, she was forbidden to be taught any of the Umber Witch's techniques and had locked her away. After the clan wars had been won by the Umber Witches, the witch hunts began, causing the discovery of their coven and basically forcing Cerezia to fight for her life. However, angels appeared to take her away since she had the left eye of darkness. But thankfully, a mysterious figure Jaune had saved her by making her forget her memories and causing the left eye of darkness to go dormant so no angels could find her. After a 500-year slumber, she was discovered by a journalist where she was sleeping in a coffin. But with no memories, she decided the name Bayonetta and become friends with an arms dealer known as Rodin and an undertaker, Enzo.
Hi, I'm Mike and I'm 39 years old. Probably 34 years, maybe even longer. When it comes to computer games, just casual. Halo. Yes, 100%. Yeah, I would. It was clearly aimed at the male gamer, so yes. I'd say it's a little ironic. I played it many years ago, probably when it first came out. I remember the look. Attractive woman in a catsuit with high heel guns. Guns on her high heels, I mean, and interesting ways of finishing, like with Iron Maidens and guillotines. Probably mostly the game itself. I like melee orientated games, so it was a fun game to play. Violent, fun. Yeah, I can't think of any other words to describe it right now. It's impressive. It must be almost 20 years old now, so it's quite impressive to see it still going strong.
Now let's begin with the first section of how Bayonetta is still popular today. Well, one important fact we have to look at is its combat system, and this can be supported by a website called invest.com, which quotes, "The absurdly satisfying combat of Bayonetta absolutely never gets old, and it's only one-upped by the increasingly over-the-top story, in which I have to agree because the combat style is so unique and have different personalities to them. The combat is so smooth, and by adding up the combinations creates a sense of pride and fills the human body with a boost of serotonin and causes more enjoyment and fondness of the video game." Moving on to another reason why Bayonetta is still popular can be its intricate character designs. Bayonetta's design consists of black spandex, long luscious black hair which both play into her powers, and gold chains / jewelries, as well as red threads, which add to her Umber Witch aesthetic. She is unapologetic when it comes to her personality of having a sharp wit and humor, along with the confidence and self-assurance. Then there is Jean, who has red everywhere. The red was very much inspired by the theme of danger, which is ironic as she is the lesser antagonist in this video game. Then there is her platinum blonde hair, which earned her the title of Platinum Witch. She has a noticeable personality of ambitious, decisive, goal-orientated, and strategic.
Tell me where she is, now! My, aren't we attached to our precious little one? Do you like it when she calls you Mummy? You're absolutely delusional. If I leave her, he'll never shut up about it, and his whining is twice as irritating as anything the child could muster. You've quite the tongue when it comes to curling round the truth.
Luca's clothing includes a lot of leather with a blue scarf, while his personality is that he tries to show off as confident and intelligent, but is rather clumsy.
Do you believe in fate? Fate brought us here together, and it will never tear us apart.
With Rodin, he has a lot of brown leather resonating with his weapon stealer character. Plus, it adds to his mysterious background, but his personality heavily contrasts, as he appears aloof and has a very detached demeanor to events happening in the world.
If you're just gonna watch, I'm putting you to the work. That was your last call. No more shots from me, Bayonetta.
Returning to Enzo, he has very classy clothing in which displays his wealth, while his personality is very different. He is a family man who truly cares for his wife and children and wants the best for them.
I still haven't quite figured out how a broke, bumbling wise guy managed to turn himself into a semi-respectable family man.
Forget about it! And what's this eraser?
Finally, Baldur, who has a white and gold color scheme, with an entire peacock that he uses as wings. It represents his association to the angels and the realm of Paradiso. Plus, being him, the last Lumen Sage, reflects well.
Hello, my name is Jess and I'm 36-year-old. Probably for 30 years. I like casual games, but it depends. If I'm in the mood, I like competitive ones too. Anything from the Final Fantasy saga. Yeah, it's getting better now, but I think games are most of the time aimed for men. There's more games now that are aimed for women, but it's still not the norm. It is actually. It does look like they designed the game to be for men. Look at the looks, look at the graphics, look at the design of the characters, and women ended up liking it because she's just a sassy badass. Well, I haven't played, but I do remember seeing my friends playing sort of like 20 years ago. The graphics were really cool. I know that she was some sort of witch and she had really cool gun heels. The characters look really cool, but I remember for the attacking scenes and the combos to be really cool as well. Badass witch, take over the world. I think it's really cool. I mean, it's a game that came a long time ago and they carry on having new series and it seems to be really popular because they keep on making some games. So.
The final factor which adds to the popularity has got to be the soundtrack, as each note played conveys a different mood, tone and emotion which tie together the video game so well. A popular soundtrack from the game has to be Fly Me to the Moon, as it has various recreations such as the original, then into the anime of Evangelion and etc. However, in my opinion, Bayonetta's Fly Me to the Moon has much more energy and passion as it adds to a feminine charm and character. Another piece of music from this video game that is like Fly Me to the Moon is Let's Dance Boys. It is emotional and conveys people to dance along with its beat and brings a perfect end to all the Bayonetta games, as it would not be a Bayonetta game if Siracia didn't start dancing to Let's Dance Boys at the end of each game. Hey, we're here at the end. So let's have a quick rundown of the reasons why Bayonetta is still popular. It's their combat system, character designs, and finally, the soundtrack.
But Lily, that must be more reason why Bayonetta is still so popular.
And that is correct, as its story is another reason why it is still popular. So why didn't I talk about this? The story would be too long to explain, so here's a quick ultimate rundown. In the beginning, Bayonetta gets a suspicious job from Rodin, which oddly enough relates to her past, and she does this for free, might I add. So basically, she goes around killing powerful angels and constantly gets tormented by this irritating voice saying, "Rise, my child," and a platinum blonde woman called Jean. At the end, she confronts the antagonist, she fights him and defeats him, but unfortunately, she gets captured. And since she had the left eye of darkness and Baldur, the antagonist, having the right eye of light, formed the creator Jubileus. So Bayonetta and Jean fight her to save humanity and thankfully succeeded. But what about the future of Bayonetta? Well, thankfully there is a future for this game, as the creator has announced that there will be some early plans for Bayonetta 4, which means that there will be a new trilogy started. But besides that announcement, there are no other pieces of information about this game's future.